The first planting season of the year, which normally starts in March in most parts of Uganda, is well underway thanks to good rains. Farmers are busy planting their best seeds in the hope for a good harvest. Many of them, like this old lady, simply buy seeds from the open market, thanks in part to the growing demand for food that is driving more farmers to look for higher yielding varieties. Experts say that the quality of seeds is a major determinant of overall yield of any crop. What are you planting? I ask her. Maize and beans, she says. Where do you get the seeds? She says, I buy them. Sadly, however, the importance of ensuring the availability of quality seeds seems to be less appreciated by authorities and other stakeholders in Uganda, a situation that has led to the widespread presence of poor quality seeds that are sold to farmers. Call it the fake seeds disaster. Godfrey Musoke is a renowned maize farmer from Mukona district. He is one of the many farmers who have suffered the financial cost of the fake seeds disaster. He took me to one of his gardens, a rented 6-acre piece of land on which he planted maize a few weeks ago. He got the seeds from his usual seed suppliers, a well-known Ugandan seed company. He used fertilizers, herbicides, labor that altogether cost him over 700,000 Ugandan shillings. Musoke was, however, shocked to find out that nearly 80% of the seeds he planted had failed to germinate a week after planting. He narrates his ordeal. As you can see, only about 20% of seeds we planted germinated. Godfrey planted 2 varieties. One variety that is favored by his customers who buy fresh cobs for roasting, and another type just close by to test its resilience to a new maize disease that has caused him more losses in another garden away from here. Godfrey says he has experienced this problem of failed germination on several occasions, but his suppliers are usually reluctant to compensate him for losses. As usual, he has had to resplay the field and replant afresh. But the few kilos he got from a friend and planted as a trial germinated very well. You see, these were the good seeds. There were only about 5 kilos that I planted in this part. Professor Maurice Ogenga-Latigo, the former leader of opposition in the Parliament of Uganda, is another victim of counterfeit seeds. Professor Latigo ventured into commercial farming in his home area in northern Uganda 3 years ago after losing an election. He recounts his experience with fake seeds. We have a problem of counterfeits, and that goes with the seeds. What's your experience on that?
It's horrible. You see, now the printing industry means that any sophisticated label can be printed on Nasaror. Any. And so they do that and paste it there. And whether it is a seed company or an agrochemical company, in developed countries, these are entities that have names, reputations that they have built over long periods, and they have names to protect. And so they make sure that their own products go through systems that don't allow for adulteration or any form of abuse. We don't have it here. If you go to Chikubo, the people who sell seeds, the people who sell herbicides are traders. They're not specialists in that field. One season I planted DK, is it DK56, an hybrid that comes from South Africa.
Hybrid maize?
Hybrid maize. Beautiful maize. When it is cobbing, you see cobs and less leaves, and and the uniformity of the crop just gets you elated. Then in 2012, second season, I got what was supposed to be the DK seeds. You know, the containers are all very beautifully printed. In fact, what worried me was that it was too neat. And then when we planted, it was like a local just grabbing maize seeds from various neighbors. Some are this tall, the other one is that tall, the cobs are this small. And you know, because I knew it was DK, I'd put fertilizer, I'd used herbicide, and I'd prepared the seedbed well. You end up with a yield of 400 kilograms per acre. That eats you hard in the pocket. Because you have already thrown the fertilizers, you can't recover them. So those are the challenges. But in spite of that, the fact of the matter is that we have the land, we have the weather, and we have the seasonal periods in each year to grow 2 crops a year. The potential is there. How do we convert that potential?
I am Chris Ibisintabio, the Executive Secretary.
Chris Ibisintabio is the Executive Secretary of the Uganda Seed Trade Association, USTA, an umbrella body that brings together all seed companies in Uganda. He explains that indeed counterfeit seed is a major problem affecting members, who now number 23 seed companies, as well as their customers, the farmers.
And the counterfeit seed or fake seed, people define it differently. It is a big issue, and in the country it is estimated to be between 25 to 30% of the seed that is sold out to the farmers. And the counterfeit seed comes out from, because of a number of issues. One of them is that you could have some of it coming out from the seed companies, and mainly this is because there could be staff within the seed companies that may be involved in this malpractice. But for the seed companies per se, I don't think they intentionally want to spoil their name. But where we agree is where either an internal person within a seed company can get involved into this. Yeah, counterfeit seed also can happen at distributor level or agro-dealer level. These distributors based at the district level, and also the retailers who are at the village level. It happens because they know where the demand is, and they can easily get involved into forging some of these packaging materials. It could be even an unscrupulous businessman who has seen an opportunity in this. So those are some of the major sources of counterfeit seed.
Have you located some of them? Have you engaged operations to try to stop them?
Yeah, we have gotten some reports about where it has happened, although our role as an association is not really to arrest them. We can only report to the authorities, which is the ministry. Then the ministry can take it up with either the police and so on. So sometimes things end there. We do not go further. Yeah, the other constraint we have as the seed industry is that, yes, we have the ministry, but the ministry also is incapacitated in terms of doing the inspections for seed companies. They do not have adequate facilitation. The inspectors are few in the country.
How many?
At the ministry level, we have, I think, 5 inspectors meant for over 23 seed companies spread in the whole country. So the number is still small. Even the few that are there are not well facilitated. So it's a big issue. So inspections are not done in time, and therefore that one
maybe not done at all.
Or not done at all, and that one can compromise the quality of seed that comes out of the goes to the farmers or is accessed by farmers. In addition to that, the distribution network is not also well inspected. the over 2,000 agro dealers in the country, most of them are supposed to be, actually all of them are supposed to be licensed, but very few are licensed to trade in seed and other agricultural inputs. So it's a chain of problems. And then further to that, farmers are not sensitized on the difference between what is genuine seed and not genuine seed. But otherwise, other challenges include, seed companies lack adequate capital to ensure that they put in place adequate production and processing facilities, to ensure that they are able to buy back the seed that is with the seed growers. Those are some of the issues that come in. Yeah, and also they do not have adequate, structures to distribute seed throughout the farmers. So that one, internally, as seed companies, there are many other challenges. First of all, we do not have adequate foundation seed. Foundation seed, usually we get our breeder, then have it multiplied into foundation seed, and it's what the seed companies get to multiply to certified seed. So first of all, our research institutes do not have adequate breeder and foundation materials, and therefore it's a constraint to the seed industry. Seed companies cannot access adequate quantities to multiply to certified seed.
The seed industry in Uganda is governed by the Seeds and Plant Act of 2005. The Act, among other things, sets tough punishments, including a 4-year jail term for anyone who violates provisions, such as those that prohibit the sale of seeds that are not sealed and labeled. Few seed vendors or even farmers are aware of this law. Blame it perhaps on weak enforcement and sensitization that is leading to frequent violations that are costing farmers as well as seed companies. Some seed companies have taken it upon themselves to pursue individuals that are engaged in counterfeiting their own brands. Professor Maurice Ogengalatigo, what's your view about the enforcement of regulations?
It's just like all the laws that we make in Uganda. We tend to be ahead of our time. Normally, when you want a law like that, you have something to regulate. But we put the law before something develops. And therefore you have no basis of even applying that law because there are no practitioners of any serious value. The regulations required registered address and things like that so that your contact, everything that you do can be traced backwards from the farm level to you. That is not the case. The receipt they issue may be a totally different receipt. If you try to trace back, the guy says, no, we are not this company, and you know where you bought your thing from. That has been a terrible discouragement in agriculture. Adulteration, abuse, falsification, whether it is of seeds, whether even of fertilizers, you can't imagine. I had one company refund money on fertilizers that they supply to me.
You forced them to do it?
Yeah. Because when we opened, we found the fertilizers were already clamped. You couldn't apply them using a planter. And yet they were supposed to be from a very reputable group. And I came, I let them see for themselves. And I said, just to build relations, I'm not asking you to refund the money and take your fertilizer. We will use it and broadcast. But you will now have to sell it to me 30% less or something like that.
The Uganda Seed Trade Association, in collaboration with the Ministry of Agriculture, have taken steps to introduce measures like this hard-to-break plastic label that will be attached to seed containers so as to help farmers distinguish between genuine seed and counterfeits.
Yes. Yeah, we have started using these tamper-proof labels on maize and beans, And we hope by the end of the year, all maize and beans will be having this kind of label. So farmers should check whether the label is difficult to tear, then you know it's the genuine label. But if it is the other paper, then you start doubting. But by the end of the year, we shall have farmers receiving seeds that are packaged in this type of label, the tamper-proof label.
In his personal capacity, Ivishintabio has produced a book to guide farmers on where to plant the different varieties.
That I realized there was a gap, and people who access this are able to know the different requirements for each seed, for each seed variety, and where the different varieties can be grown. What farmers do not know is that some seeds are for highlands like Kabare and Kapchorwa. Other varieties are suitable for mid to lowland. So this book spells out each variety where it can be grown, the spacing, the fertilizer requirements, and expected yield. Yes.
Efforts to get a comment from the Commissioner for Crop Protection in the Ministry of Agriculture were not successful. However, one hopes the government would put more energy in addressing the challenge of fake seeds, which is key to the success of the agriculture sector, the backbone of Uganda's economy. This is Henry Lutaya reporting for The Sunrise.